By the end of this video, you're going to understand how to create a lead magnet that actually works, because you will understand what actually makes lead magnets convert. Let's jump into it. You see, there's a fundamental misunderstanding that I see with many new course creators and coaches, and it's that they don't quite fully understand what makes a lead magnet convert. They look at it as simply as, if I get people to download something and get them in my email list, they will eventually buy, but that's not necessarily true. Your goal with a lead magnet is to get the prospect to know you, to like you, and most importantly, to trust you. The easiest way to make this happen is if your lead magnet gets that prospect a win or a result. Now, depending on the niche or the industry, this can look a little bit different. Sometimes it's as simple as an aha moment or a change in the way that they perceive or think about something. But ultimately, you need to give them some immediate win or result in some way, shape, or form with your lead magnet. Now that we understand the goal here, let's look at how to actually make it happen. Step one is pretty basic. You're going to be running traffic to your lead magnet opt-in page. Your traffic could be paid ads, it could be organic social, it could be a combination of the two, email list, whatever. You just need traffic to your opt-in page. From here, your goal is to optimize your opt-in rate while also making sure you are getting quality people, right? We want actual people that we can actually help, that are actually interested. We're not trying to just build a huge email list. We're trying to build an isolated list of people who are our ideal customer that we believe we can get to know, like, and trust us enough to buy from us. One of the first things I always do when I start running traffic to an opt-in page is I A/B test my opt-in form, right? So your opt-in form is what's going to pop up and say, give me your information and I'll give you this thing. Now, by a rule of thumb, the more information you ask for, typically the lower your conversion rate will be. However, it's important that you understand, where's the actual value? Is it in more leads, or is it in less leads that have higher quality or have additional fields they've filled out? For example, one big one is the phone number. So I always A/B test my opt-ins for, I'll do my A with no phone number, right? It's got no number, and then my B will have the number. And what I'm looking for is, if I can maintain a solid conversion rate on my B with the phone number, I will take that over the A with no phone number but getting more leads, because I know that for my offer specifically, SMS marketing converts way higher down the customer journey and in the pipeline than just emails. So, pro tip, test your opt-in form, and your goal here is to find the synergy and the fine line between how much is too much to ask that pushes people away, but also what's the correct amount of questions to ask or information to ask for that qualifies, and the good leads will still come through, but it will disqualify some of the people who might not be a fit. And additionally, think about your long-term marketing plans, and if you know that SMS converts better in your case, like it does for ours and in most cases, then your goal should be to get your leads with SMS, and understand that it's a fair trade to get less leads with that additional information. Let's jump back into the diagram here. From here, people are going to go to a confirmation page. Basically, there are two main things I'm doing on this page. The first thing is I'm making the delivery method clear. So if it's being sent to their inbox, I'm making that crystal clear. If there's a button that they need to press, if they've been granted a course access, whatever it is, I want to make it crystal clear so even a 5-year-old could understand where it was going. And additionally, I want a help email. So, hey, if you don't see it or if you're having trouble, email us here. Fundamental thing we need to understand. We will never get somebody that win or result if they don't go through the lead magnet. So our first goal post opt-in is to get somebody to actually consume the lead magnet. Do not make the assumption that just because they signed up for it, they will watch it read it, download it, whatever. Right, so from here, once they've opted in, we want to put them in a 7-day email sequence specific to the lead magnet. Now, the first 7 days are absolutely crucial post opt-in. This is where people are the warmest and the hottest. And this is where, if you can get them that immediate win or result, they are going to be the most primed to purchase from you. This is the cadence that I use for my workflow here for my emails in the first week. We're going to go with immediately sending them the confirmation email saying, hey, you're in, here's the thing again, right? So if it's a PDF, attach it again. If it's a link you're sending them to, link it again. If it's course access, make sure you're making it crystal clear again. Here's how you get access, right? Make it easy. Remove any barrier to entry. Let them know exactly how to get started. The next day, remind them about it. Hey, just wanted to check in. Have you implemented XYZ? Next day, social proof. Here's a success story of somebody like you that implemented this and got this result, right? Show them what's possible. Show them that it's legit. Next day, value, additional value, right? So if your lead magnet is on a specific topic, you could layer on some additional value on that topic to get the wheel spinning and then say, hey, I go into more detail, or you can jump in deeper by consuming lead magnet. Next day, social proof. Goal here is to remove friction, so another success story, reviews, etc. Next day is going to be an FAQ, answering some common objections, some common questions. Again, goal is to remove barrier to entry and just make sure they're consuming. And then finally, you're going to have your next steps in your CTA. Now, this is where a lot of new creators stop. They have a nice first 7-day sequence and then they never follow up again, other than like some email blasts. That is not the right move. Most people, depending on the price of the course, probably won't buy here. And that's okay. We're priming them here. So what you want to do once they finish this sequence is at the end of that workflow, give them a new tag. I use the tag lead-master drip. And then I have an additional email workflow that is just my long-term workflow. So the first 7 days, all of that information, those case studies, the social proof, the value, all of that is as specific to the lead magnet topic as possible. After that, I put them in a more generalized long-term drip because most of my products have several lead magnets, so it's just more feasible long-term. So how I work this is they get a specific tag, right, that lead master drip tag at the end of the first 7-day workflow. And then I have a new workflow where the trigger is that this tag is added and then it starts the new emails. That's the easiest way to do it, in my opinion. Here's a pro tip here for this long-term email sequence. Write out the first 30 days of emails. You can use a large language model like GPT to help you figure out how many emails should be in that based on the quality and the content that you have. Rule of thumb is that it's better to send less emails that are high quality than more emails that are low quality, but ideally you want to send a substantial amount of high quality emails. Once you've worked out how many, let's say it's 10, for example, over 30 days, you could go ahead and write those out. And then as people are getting into that workflow, you just add one new email per week because you're already 30 days ahead. So you can add 1 or 2 new emails per week, and as long as you stay ahead of where the customer is or the prospect is, you're good. Typically, we will put somebody into a cycle, like a drip, for 12 to 18 months. But that really depends on the price point and a few things. And this is an important factor. You don't want an email list full of people that opted in for something 3 years ago and haven't interacted with you since. You're just wasting your money emailing them. You should be routinely cleaning your list. So that's why after that 12 to 18 month point, we just remove them from our email marketing. Now, one of the main things and factors that we use to determine what that removal time frame will look like is tracking our sales cycles. And this is extremely important. You need to track, on average, how long it takes somebody to get from A all the way to Z here. So from being a cold prospect to a paying customer. You need to track what's the average. For some, it's 7 days, others it's immediate, some it's 30, 60, 90. A lot of it has to do with price point, strategy, all that stuff. But you need to track on average what is the sales cycle. And ideally, you're always working to make that shorter, so you can collect more cash faster. But that will give you a good indication of how long you actually want to keep people in your email drip here. So that's the basic overview of what lead magnets are, why they work, and what you need to focus on, and how to actually set it up. I've got a bunch of lead magnet templates. If you use HighLevel, you can click the link below and you can just import them directly into your account. There's one for webinar, free course, and PDF download, and there are beginner, intermediate versions, and advanced versions for all of them. There's also some other free stuff down in the description below. My email's down there if you want to reach out. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you found it to be helpful, go ahead and give it a like. I'll see you next time. Peace.